The day the aliens came was just like any other day. Blue sky, a few clouds, people going to work. Then the news broke. Giant ships had appeared in orbit around Earth. They were huge metal disks that shone in the sunlight. They blocked out parts of the sky like strange new moons. William Carter was eating breakfast when his phone rang. He picked it up and heard the voice of his boss, the Secretary of State. "Bill, we need you at the White House. Now." Carter didn't ask questions. As America's top diplomat, he knew an urgent call meant trouble. Within an hour, he sat in the Situation Room with the president, military leaders, and other important officials. "The aliens want to talk," the president said, her face tight with worry. "They've asked for Earth's representatives. You're our chief negotiator, Ambassador Carter." Captain Lisa Martinez sat across from Carter. She wore her full military uniform, with all her medals showing. "Sir, we should be careful. We know nothing about their intentions." General Nathan Powell nodded. "Captain Martinez will go with you as military advisor. Dr. Wright will join as our science expert." Dr. Alan Wright looked up from his tablet. He was a thin man with thick glasses who had studied alien life theories for decades. Now he would meet real aliens. "They've sent instructions for the meeting," said the president. "A small team only. No weapons. Their ship will send down a transport in 3 hours at these coordinates." She slid a paper toward Carter. 3 hours later, Carter stood with Martinez and Wright in an empty field in Virginia. Above them hovered a small craft that looked like a silver teardrop. A beam of light shot down, and the 3 humans found themselves rising into the air. "Stay calm," Carter whispered, though his own heart was beating fast. The inside of the alien ship was bright and smooth. The walls curved in strange angles, and the air smelled like metal and something sweet. 3 tall figures waited for them. The aliens called themselves Zoraxians. They stood 7 feet tall with thin bodies and large heads. Their skin was pale blue, and they had 4 fingers on each hand. Their eyes were big and black, with no visible whites. "Welcome, Earth representatives," said the middle alien in perfect English. "I am Supreme Commander Krell of the Zoraxian Confederacy." Carter stepped forward. "I am Ambassador William Carter. This is Captain Martinez and Dr. Wright. We come in peace and friendship." Krell made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Peace is possible, Ambassador. But friendship, that depends on how reasonable your species proves to be." The aliens led them to a room with a large window showing Earth below. The view made Carter's chest tighten with both awe and fear. "Beautiful planet," said Krell. "Rich in resources. We've been watching you for decades. May I ask why you've chosen to reveal yourselves now?" Carter asked. "Your technology has reached a sufficient level that you should be able to understand our position in the galaxy," said Krell. "The Zoraxian Confederacy includes 57 species across 200 planets. We bring order and advancement to primitive worlds." Captain Martinez spoke up. "And what exactly does that mean for Earth?" Krell turned to her. "It means Earth will join our confederacy. Your resources and labor will contribute to our expansion. In return, you'll receive certain technologies and protection." "That sounds more like conquest than alliance," Martinez said, her voice firm. The alien to Krell's right stepped forward. "Your species is in no position to refuse. Your weapons and defenses are primitive compared to ours." Carter tried to keep his voice diplomatic. "Earth has significant military capabilities. We would prefer peaceful relations, but we can defend ourselves if needed." All 3 aliens made the strange laughing sound. Krell touched a control on his wrist. A hologram appeared showing various Earth weapons, tanks, fighter jets, missiles, and guns. "These?" Krell asked. "These are toys compared to Zoraxian weapons." He touched another control. Part of the wall became transparent, revealing a large room where Zoraxian soldiers trained. One fired a weapon that shot blue energy. The target, a thick metal block, melted instantly. Another alien demonstrated a personal shield that glowed green around his body. A robotic arm fired projectiles at him, but they bounced off the shield harmlessly. "Our basic infantry equipment," said Krell. "Your most advanced weapons couldn't penetrate our defenses." Dr. Wright, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. Your technology is impressive. We could learn much from each other. Learn from you? The third alien seemed amused. What could we possibly learn from humans? Carter noticed Captain Martinez watching the aliens closely. Her eyes narrowed slightly as she observed their movements. We'll return you to Earth now, Krell said. In 3 of your days, we'll send terms for Earth's integration into the Confederacy. I suggest your leaders prepare your people for significant changes. As they prepared to leave, Carter asked, May I know what happens if Earth refuses your terms? Krell's face showed no emotion. That would be unwise. Planets that resist integration face military action. Your weapons cannot harm our ships or soldiers. Resistance would only cause unnecessary suffering for your people. The return trip was silent. When they landed back on Earth, Carter, Martinez, and Wright were immediately taken to the White House to report. They're arrogant, Martinez said once they were in the secure room. They think we're no threat at all. Did you notice anything useful? General Powell asked. Martinez nodded. Their physical movements seemed careful, almost delicate, and despite their technology, they wear body armor. Why need armor if their shields are perfect? Dr. Wright added. Their body structure suggests they evolved on a lower gravity planet. That could mean they're physically weaker than humans. None of that helps against ships that can destroy cities from orbit, the president said. Maybe, Carter replied. But every species has weaknesses. They've clearly never had to fight humans before. General Powell looked grim. 3 days isn't much time. We need to prepare for the worst. Outside the White House, news of the alien ships had spread worldwide. People looked up at the sky with fear and wonder. In homes and bars and offices, they watched screens showing the giant ships hanging over Earth. The aliens had come, and they thought humans were weak. They mocked Earth's weapons as primitive toys. In 3 days, they would demand Earth's surrender. But Captain Martinez's observations had planted a seed of hope. The Zoraxians might have amazing technology, but they didn't know everything about humans, and humans had a long history of surprising their enemies. 3 days. That was all the time. Earth had to find a way to fight back against an enemy that thought the fight was already over. 2 days passed with the alien ships hanging in the sky. People around the world watched and waited. Some prayed, some prepared for the worst, some partied like it was the end of the world. In a secure underground room in Washington, D.C., Ambassador Carter met with world leaders on video screens. Everyone looked tired and worried. The Zoraxians sent their terms an hour ago, Carter said. They want Earth to give up all nuclear weapons. They want control of our major resources. They want 10 million humans to work on their ships and colonies. That's not joining their confederacy. That's surrender, said the Russian president. The Chinese leader nodded. What options do we have? General Powell stepped forward. We've been analyzing everything we learned from the first contact. Captain Martinez and Dr. Wright have made some interesting discoveries. Martinez displayed images on the main screen. These are enhanced photos of Commander Krell and his officers. Look at how they move and stand. Their posture suggests they're used to much lower gravity than Earth's. So they're physically weak? Asked the British Prime Minister. Possibly, said Martinez. And there's more. Dr. Wright? Dr. Wright adjusted his glasses. We analyzed their technology demonstrations. Their weapons and shields use advanced energy systems, but they seem to have limited experience with basic physical impacts. What does that mean? Asked someone. It means, said General Powell, that while they can stop energy weapons like lasers, they might be vulnerable to simple bullets and bombs, old-fashioned weapons. Carter watched the leaders' faces as they considered this. The problem is, he said, we can't test this theory without risking open conflict. As if on cue, an aide rushed into the room and whispered to General Powell. His face darkened. The Zoraxians just landed a small force in Wyoming, Powell announced. They call it a demonstration of power to encourage our cooperation. News footage appeared on the screens. 5 Zoraxian soldiers in shiny armor were walking through a small town. They carried weapons that looked like thin silver tubes. As they walked, They fired at empty cars and streetlights, which melted into puddles of metal. "Where's the military?" someone asked. "On the way," said Powell. "But the local sheriff is already there." In Pinewood, Wyoming, Sheriff Frank Miller had seen a lot in his 30 years of police work, but nothing like this. 5 alien soldiers were walking down Main Street destroying things with energy weapons. "What's the plan, Sheriff?" asked Deputy Susan Clark. She was younger than Miller, with military experience from her time in the Army. Miller checked his pistol. "We talk to them. Tell them to stop." "And if they don't?" Miller didn't answer. He stepped out from behind his patrol car. "That's enough," he shouted at the aliens. "This is Sheriff Frank Miller. You are destroying private property. Stop now." The die. Aliens turned toward him. The one in front had markings on his armor that might have been rank symbols. "This is Zoraxian Lieutenant Vex," the alien said in slightly mechanical English. "This demonstration is authorized by Commander Krell. Return to your dwelling, human." "This is my town," Miller said. "You don't have permission to be here or destroy anything." The alien pointed his weapon at a nearby pickup truck. The truck melted into a steaming pile of metal and plastic. "Your permission is not required," said Vex. "The Zoraxian Confederacy now claims this planet." In the underground room in Washington, everyone watched the scene unfold on live video. "They're going to kill him," someone whispered. On screen, 3 military helicopters appeared in the sky above Pinewood. "U.S. Army," came a voice over a loudspeaker. "Alien forces, put down your weapons." Lieutenant Vex raised his weapon toward the helicopters. A blue beam shot out, hitting one helicopter. The aircraft exploded. Miller didn't hesitate. He drew his pistol and fired at the alien. The bullet hit Vex's armor and bounced off the greenish shield that appeared. The aliens turned toward Miller and Clark, weapons raised. Deputy Clark had taken cover behind a concrete planter. She aimed her shotgun and fired. Something unexpected happened. While the first shots bounced off the aliens' shields after several hits, Clark's shotgun blast went through and hit one alien in the leg. The alien screamed, a high, strange sound, and fell to the ground. "Their shields weaken with multiple hits," Clark shouted to Miller. The aliens seemed shocked. They fired back, their energy weapons melting holes in the concrete around the humans. Miller kept shooting. His 4th bullet passed through a weakened shield and hit an alien in the shoulder. The alien dropped his weapon. By now, the 2 remaining helicopters were firing their machine guns. Hundreds of bullets rained down on the aliens. Their shields flickered and failed under the barrage. 2 more aliens fell. Lieutenant Vex and his remaining soldier backed away, firing at the helicopters. Then they pressed devices on their wrists and disappeared in flashes of light. In the underground room, there was stunned silence. Then excited talking broke out. "Did you see that? Their shields failed. Regular bullets got through." General Powell raised his hand for quiet. "It appears Captain Martinez was right. The aliens have advanced energy weapons and shields, but those shields have limits. And when the shields fail, the aliens can be hurt by our weapons." "We need more information," said Dr. Wright. "If their weakness is physical impact, we need to test different weapons." "We may not have time," Carter said. "The Zoraxians will be angry about this defeat. They may attack sooner than planned." As if to confirm his words, all the screens in the room suddenly changed. Commander Krell's face appeared, his black eyes showing no emotion. "People of Earth," he said, "your resistance in the human settlement called Pinewood was unexpected. It changes nothing. You now have 24 hours to accept our terms, not 48. If you refuse, we will destroy your major cities one by one until you surrender." Screens went blank. The room was quiet for a moment. Then the President of the United States stood up. "Get me every military leader on the line. We need a global defense plan immediately." She turned to Carter. "Ambassador, you'll return to their ship as planned tomorrow. Buy us time if you can." Carter nodded, though his stomach tightened with fear. "And Captain Martinez," the President continued, "gather every bit of data from that Wyoming encounter. If bullets can hurt them, I want to know what else can." As people rushed to follow orders, Carter looked at the blank screens. 24 hours to prepare for a war against enemies from the stars. Enemies who had thought humans were weak but had just learned otherwise. The aliens had mocked Earth's weapons as primitive. Now they knew those primitive weapons could make them bleed. The next 12 hours were the busiest in human history. Every military base on Earth buzzed with activity. Soldiers loaded weapons, pilots prepared planes, leaders made plans. In a lab beneath the Pentagon, Dr. Alan Wright and Dr. Olivia Patel studied the videos from Wyoming over and over. Dr. Patel was a physicist who specialized in energy systems. She had been called in right after the Wyoming incident. "Look," she said, pointing to a screen showing the moment Deputy Clark's shotgun blast hit the alien. "Their shields flicker before they fail." "It's like they can only handle so many hits," said Dr. Wright. "Exactly. I think their shields are designed to stop energy weapons, not physical objects moving at high speed." Captain Martinez walked in, followed by Major Ryan Cooper. Cooper led a special forces team that had been training for space missions before anyone knew aliens existed. "We have a plan," Martinez said. "But it's risky." Dr. Wright looked up. "What kind of plan?" "The Zoraxians have a scout ship orbiting over North America. It's smaller than their main ships. Major Cooper's team is going to capture it." Dr. Patel looked shocked. "How?" Major Cooper was a tall man with short gray hair and a serious face. "We'll use a high-altitude plane to get close. Then we'll space jump to the ship." "Space jump?" Dr. Wright asked. "Special suits? Oxygen tanks?" "The works," Cooper said. "We've been practicing for years, just not for this exact situation." "And once you're on the ship?" Dr. Patel asked. "That's where you come in," said Martinez. "We need to know how to get past their security systems." For the next hour, the scientists shared everything they had learned about Zoraxian technology. Cooper's team listened carefully and asked smart questions. "Remember," Dr. Wright said, "they evolved on a low-gravity planet. They're physically weaker than humans. If you can get past their shields and armor, they can be overpowered." As Cooper's team prepared, Ambassador Carter was getting ready to return to the Zoraxian flagship. He knew it might be a one-way trip. "Your job is to keep them talking," the president told him. "Buy us time." Carter nodded. "What if they don't want to talk?" "Then do whatever it takes to stay alive until we can come get you." At exactly noon, Carter stood in the same field where he had first met the aliens. The silver teardrop ship appeared above him, and the beam of light pulled him up. Commander Krell was waiting. "Ambassador Carter, I didn't expect you to come alone." "The others are preparing our response to your ultimatum," Carter said. "A wise response would be surrender," said Krell. "Your resistance in Wyoming was brave but pointless. You destroyed 3 of our soldiers. We can send thousands more." Carter tried to look defeated. "Perhaps we can negotiate better terms?" Krell seemed pleased. "Follow me." As they walked through the ship, Carter carefully observed everything. He counted steps, noted junctions, studied the alien technology. Everything he saw might help Earth. Meanwhile, high above North America, a stealth plane released 5 tiny objects. Major Cooper and his team fell through space toward a small Zoraxian ship. Their special suits protected them from the cold and lack of air. "Remember the plan," Cooper said through his radio. "Sergeant Dawson sets the charges. Ramirez and Jackson secure the control room. Lopez and I get the technology samples." They landed on the hull of the alien ship. Sergeant Kate Dawson, the team's demolitions expert, placed a special device on the hull. It created a controlled explosion that cut through the metal without making much noise. "We're in," she whispered into her radio. The team entered the ship. It was dimly lit with a bluish light. They moved carefully, weapons ready. "Contact," said Ramirez suddenly. 2 Zoraxian crew members appeared in the corridor ahead. The aliens reached for their weapons, but Cooper's team fired first. The bullets hit the aliens' shields, making them flicker. After several hits, the shields failed and the aliens fell. "Move quickly," said Cooper. "They'll know we're here now." The team split up according to the plan. Cooper and Lopez headed for what looked like a storage area. Inside, they found alien weapons, shields, and other technology. "Jackpot," said Lopez, carefully packing items into a special bag. In the control room, Ramirez and Jackson faced stronger resistance. 5 Zoraxians fired energy weapons at them. The humans took cover behind alien equipment. Their shields are stronger than the ones in Wyoming, Jackson said, firing back. Keep shooting. They'll fail eventually, Ramirez replied. In another part of the ship, Sergeant Dawson was setting explosive charges. She worked quickly, placing them at key points she had memorized from the scientist's briefing. Charges set, she reported. 10 minutes until detonation. Control room secure, came Ramirez's voice a minute later. 3 of us wounded but alive. Storage items secured, Cooper reported. Everyone back to the entry point. The team gathered at their entry hole. They could hear alarms throughout the ship now. Put on your masks, Cooper ordered. They all pulled oxygen masks over their faces. Dawson pressed a button on her wrist device. Small explosions went off throughout the ship. They weren't meant to destroy it, just to damage the life support systems. The air began to hiss out of the ship. The remaining Zoraxians would soon be struggling to breathe. Time to go, said Cooper. One by one, they jumped from the ship, their special suits allowing them to glide down to Earth where planes waited to catch them. Only Lopez didn't make it. A Zoraxian energy beam hit him just before he jumped. His suit caught fire and he fell too fast for the recovery planes to catch him. Back on Earth, the captured alien technology arrived at Dr. Patel's lab. She and Dr. Wright began studying it. Immediately. This is amazing, she said, examining a Zoraxian shield generator. It creates an energy field that blocks other energy, but it can only absorb so many kinetic impacts before it overloads. Can we use this? Dr. Wright asked. Doctor, Patel thought for a moment. Better. I think we can disable it. She explained her idea to General Powell and Captain Martinez. Their shields operate on a specific frequency. If we can generate an electromagnetic pulse at the right frequency, we might be able to disrupt all their shields at once. How long will it take to build something that can do that? Asked General Powell. With this technology to study, maybe 12 hours? You have 6, said Powell. The Zoraxians are preparing their first attack. It's going to be on New York City. Dr. Patel looked at the alien technology. 6 hours to understand it, build a counterweapon, and save humanity. I'll need coffee, she said. Lots of coffee. Dr. Patel had never worked so hard in her life. Her eyes burned from lack of sleep and her hands shook from too much coffee. But she kept working. The key is the frequency, she told Dr. Wright as they studied the alien shield generator. Their shields block energy at certain frequencies, but not others. Colonel Laura Wilson joined them in the lab. She was in charge of planning Earth's defense. How's it coming? She asked. We're making progress, said Dr. Patel. I think we can create devices that will send out electromagnetic pulses at the exact frequency to disrupt their shields. How big are these devices? Wilson asked. That's the problem, said Dr. Wright. They need to be fairly large. We can't make handheld versions in time. Wilson nodded. So we place them in cities most likely to be attacked. How many can you make? In the next few hours? With help from every tech lab in the country? Maybe 30, said Dr. Patel. Make it happen, Wilson said. I'll coordinate with other countries to build more. As they worked, Ambassador Carter was still aboard the Zoraxian flagship. Commander Krell believed Carter was there to discuss surrender terms, but Carter had other plans. Your offer is harsh, Carter told Krell. 10 million humans as workers? That's slavery. It is opportunity, said Krell. Your species would learn advanced technology. Carter shook his head. We need more time to consider. You have no time, Krell said. Already our ships move into position. We will attack your city, New York, first, then others if you do not surrender. Carter noticed a small device on Krell's wrist. It looked like the teleporters the aliens in Wyoming had used. If he could get one, Earth scientists could study it. May I at least send a message to our leaders? Carter asked. To explain your terms more clearly? Krell considered this. You may use our communication system. Follow me. As they walked through the ship, Carter carefully memorized everything he saw. The layout, the number of crew, the types of weapons. All information that could help Earth. In a large room with many screens, Krell showed Carter how to use the communication system. "You have 5 minutes," Krell said, then left to speak with his officers. Carter quickly used the system to send a coded message to Earth. He included everything he had learned about the ship's defenses and weak points. Then he sent a second message with a daring plan. On Earth, world leaders watched as Zoraxian ships moved into position above major cities. The countdown to attack was now less than 2 hours. "Ambassador Carter's message is clear," said the president. "The aliens will target civilian areas first to force our surrender." "What about his plan?" asked General Powell. Captain Martinez spoke up. "It's risky. He wants us to launch a coordinated attack at exactly 2:00 p.m. All our forces, all at once, using everything we have. He believes their fleet isn't as large as they want us to think." "Can Dr. Patel's EMP devices be ready by then?" asked the president. "She says yes," Martinez replied. "But they need to be placed in key locations." "And what about Carter?" someone asked. "He'll still be on their ship." There was silence for a moment. Then the president spoke. "He knew the risks when he went back up there. We have to follow his plan. It's our best chance." Orders went out to military bases around the world. Every jet, missile, and artillery piece was prepared. Soldiers loaded weapons and moved into position. In cities across the globe, people were urged to take shelter underground. Subway stations, basements, and tunnels filled with frightened civilians. Dr. Patel's team worked frantically to finish the EMP devices. Each one was the size of a small car, filled with complex electronics designed to match the frequency of Zoraxian shields. "Test number 5, Dr. Patel said, activating a small version of their shield disruptor. On a test bench, a piece of Zoraxian shield technology glowed green, then flickered and went dark. "It works," Dr. Wright said. "At close range," Dr. Patel cautioned, "the real devices need to affect ships high above cities." "They will," Dr. Wright assured her. "The full-sized versions are much more powerful." As the devices were rushed to their positions, Major Cooper met with his remaining team members. They had recovered from their wounds during the scout ship mission. "We have a new assignment," Cooper told them. "We're going to guard the Chicago EMP device. If the aliens send ground forces to destroy it, we stop them." Sergeant Dawson checked her weapons. "For Lopez," she said quietly. The others nodded, remembering their fallen teammate. In New York, London, Moscow, Beijing, and 20 other major cities, similar teams took up positions around the EMP devices. These were humanity's best hope. The president addressed the world one last time before the attack was expected to begin. "People of Earth," she said, her face solemn on screens everywhere. "Today we face the greatest threat in human history. These aliens came to our world believing we were weak and primitive. They demanded our surrender. They threatened our cities. They thought their advanced technology made them invincible." She paused, then continued with stronger voice. "But they made a mistake. They underestimated human resilience, human courage, and human ingenuity. We have discovered their weakness. We have prepared our response. And when the time comes, we will show them that Earth will not surrender." As the speech ended, people huddled in shelters and safe rooms. Soldiers and pilots waited at their posts. Scientists made final adjustments to the EMP devices. On the Zoraxian flagship, Carter was brought back to Commander Krell. "Your time has expired, Ambassador," Krell said. "What is Earth's answer?" Carter looked at his watch. It was 1:58 p.m. Just 2 minutes until the coordinated attack would begin. "Earth's answer," he said slowly, stalling for time, "is that we need to discuss alternatives to your terms." "There are no alternatives," said Krell. "You will watch as we destroy your first city. Then perhaps your leaders will understand our power." On a large screen, Carter could see New York City from above. Zoraxian ships moved into position. Their weapon systems glowed with building energy. Carter glanced at his watch again. 1 minute to go. "Commander," he said, "there's something you should know about humans." "And what is that?" Krell asked. "We don't give up easily." As he spoke, the clock hit 2 p.m. All across Earth, Dr. Patel's EMP devices activated at once, sending out invisible pulses targeted at the frequency of Zoraxian shields, and every human weapon, from fighter jets to battleships to artillery, fired at the alien fleet. The battle for Earth had begun. The sky above Chicago filled with Zoraxian ships. They moved like silver fish, smooth and fast. The largest ship, shaped like a wide disk, positioned itself over the downtown area. Smaller ships circled around it. From his cockpit, Captain Jack Morris watched them. He was part of the 101st Fighter Squadron, now assigned to defend Chicago. 20 fighter jets waited hidden among the clouds. "All pilots ready," he said into his radio. "Remember the plan. Wait for the EMP." On the ground, soldiers and police helped people into underground shelters. The streets were almost empty now. Dr. Patel's team had set up EMP devices around the city. Similar devices had been placed in cities around the world. In the command center beneath Chicago, General Powell watched the screens showing the alien ships. "Dr. Patel, are you ready?" he asked over the radio. "Yes, sir," came her voice. "EMP. Devices are charged and targeted. They'll hit the exact frequency of the Zoraxian shields." "And Ambassador Carter?" Captain Martinez answered from another screen. "Still aboard the flagship. He's been sending coded messages. The aliens are watching him, but he's safe for now." Powell took a deep breath. "Begin Operation Thunderbolt." Aboard the Zoraxian flagship, Carter sat in a small room they had given him. He could see Earth through a round window. For hours, he had pretended to discuss surrender terms while secretly sending information using a small device hidden in his watch. The door opened, and Commander Krell entered. "Your time has run out, Ambassador. Your leaders have not surrendered. The attack on your city, Chicago, begins now." Carter stood up. "Please, Commander, there must be another way." "There is not. You will watch as we demonstrate our power." On a screen on the wall, Carter could see the Zoraxian ships positioning over Chicago. He needed to keep Krell talking just a little longer. "Your ships are impressive," Carter said. "I've always wondered how they work." Krell made that strange laughing sound. "Your human mind could not understand our technology." "I'd still like to learn," Carter said, watching the clock on his hidden device. "Just 2 more minutes until the EMP in Chicago," Dr. Patel counted down. "EMP activating in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She pressed the button. Around the city, the devices she had built sent out invisible pulses of electromagnetic energy, tuned to the exact frequency of the Zoraxian shields. In the sky, the alien ship suddenly faltered. Their smooth movements became jerky. The greenish glow that surrounded them flickered and disappeared. "Shields down," someone shouted in the command center. "All Zoraxian shields are down." General Powell didn't waste a second. "All forces attack, now." Captain Morris and his squadron burst from the clouds. Their jets screamed toward the now vulnerable alien ships. "Fox 3, Morris called as he launched his missiles. The other pilots did the same. The missiles streaked toward the alien ships. Without their shields, the ships had no defense against these simple physical weapons. Explosions bloomed in the sky as missiles hit their targets. "Direct hits," Morris shouted. "Their armor is breaking apart." The large disc-shaped ship began to tilt, smoke pouring from holes in its side. Smaller ships tried to escape, but the fighter jets pursued them, firing more missiles and even their basic guns. Around the world, the same scene played out. In London, Paris, Tokyo, Sydney, and dozens of other cities, human forces attacked the shieldless alien ships. Old-fashioned artillery, missiles, and even tanks firing shells brought down the once unstoppable Zoraxian fleet. On the flagship, Commander Krell stared at the screen in shock. "Impossible," he whispered. "Our shields. How?" Carter watched as the alien commander received reports from around the world. With each report, Krell's blue skin seemed to grow paler. "Your ships are being destroyed everywhere," Carter said. "Your ground forces are surrendering. End this now, Commander, before more lives are lost." Krell turned to him, his black eyes wide. "What weapon is this? How are your primitive missiles defeating our advanced ships?" They're not primitive to us, Carter said. They're what we had to develop because our planet is different from yours. We evolved on a high-gravity world with abundant metals. Physical weapons made sense for us just as energy weapons made sense for you. In Chicago, Captain Morris watched as the main alien ship began to rise, trying to escape Earth's atmosphere. Several smaller ships followed it. They're retreating, he said into his radio. Should we pursue? Negative, came General Powell's voice. Let them go. They need to tell their people what happened here. The damaged alien ships limped away from Earth, growing smaller in the sky until they disappeared. In cities around the world, people emerged from shelters to see smoking remains of alien ships. Some had crashed into empty fields. Others had been captured mostly intact. Human soldiers surrounded Zoraxian survivors who surrendered without fighting. 2 days later, a message came from deep space. It was from the Zoraxian Confederacy. We misjudged your species, the message said. Your weapons are not primitive, merely different. We request a truce and proper diplomatic relations. In the White House, the president read the message with Ambassador Carter and the other leaders who had guided Earth through the crisis. They want to talk peace now, the president said, after they tried to conquer us. Carter nodded. They underestimated us because we were different. That's a mistake many make, even among humans. What should we do? Asked the president. Talk to them, Carter suggested. But from a position of strength, they respect us now, and other alien species will hear about what happened. Earth won't be seen as an easy target anymore. Dr. Wright spoke up. We could learn from each other. Their energy technology combined with our materials science could create amazing new things. Captain Martinez nodded. And we should prepare for the future. There might be other aliens out there, ones who won't make the mistake of mocking our weapons. In the months that followed, Earth changed. People worked together in ways they never had before. Countries shared technology and resources. The captured alien ships and weapons were studied and understood. Ambassador Carter led a new team to meet with representatives of the Zoraxian Confederacy. This time, the meeting took place on neutral ground, a space station built halfway between Earth and the Zoraxian home system. As for Commander Krell, he was never seen again. Rumors said he had been removed from command for his failure. The new Zoraxian leaders were more respectful of humans and their primitive but effective weapons. Earth had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and it had done so not by surrendering, but by standing firm and using what it had, simple, weapons that had proven not so simple after all.